Hey guys, what's going on? It's Codiak here, and if you've been to our channel before, you know that we cover video games, right? We do guides, we do previews, we do all sorts of stuff. But I wanted to do something called Offscript. It's a mini vlog series, if you will, talking about the process of being a content creator. There's nothing in front of me, no script, just me and a camera and a timer, hopefully keeping me on track. And I'm a little nervous because I usually do things really structured. I like to have a script in front of me. I like to kind of lay out all the pieces before I start talking to you guys. But I wanted to do this because there's a lot of pressures that come with being a content creator, whether they be your own pressures that you put on yourself or whether they be pressures from other places, your family, your friends, random strangers on the internet. So every week, every Saturday, I'm hoping, I'm going to put out a new video. And it's going to just be talking about my journey from where we started back almost a year ago to the very week and moment that the video comes out, right? This is going to be an evolving process, a journey with you guys as we continue to grow and hopefully grow as big as we can and reach our full potential, whatever that may be. Now, I know there's a lot of content creators out there. There's a lot of you guys who have messaged me and wanted some help or guidance about getting to that next step or overcoming some sort of obstacle or challenge. And I'm always willing to help. You can ask anybody that's ever reached out to me. My goal as a person is to always try and help anybody I can, especially in the creative field, because I've struggled with some of the internal things, some of the mental things that get in my way. And I want to be able to help other people get past that. So I just have my little note card. That's all I really got. It's a couple little bullet points on here. But today is really all about starting out. How do you start? How do you do anything from the very beginning? And for me, and again, guys, this is just my opinions, my thoughts. So consider this a podcast type thing, put it on the background, listen. I'm just going to share some of my opinions and hopefully something resonates with you guys. So for me, the first thing that I always recommend to people is try and figure out what your brand is or what your mission is. Now, having a brand, having an identity is really, really important. Now, full disclosure, I come from a branding world. I come from a marketing world in the news industry, and brand is everything. What your brand says about you is what people will perceive you to be. So, the Game Gurus it's hard to kind of put words to a brand, but a good brand like Nike, Just Do It, that's all you need to know about that brand, because there's been years and years and years in marketing campaigns and famous actors and famous athletes who have endorsed that brand for their mission. Just do it. They've never needed to change it. Their logo has been the same since they first designed it for the most part. And that is the most important thing about starting, is really figuring out what your goal is, whether that be a video game channel, whether that be a beauty channel or a movie review channel. It doesn't really matter what it is, whether you're an artist, a physical artist, paint and paper, or you're just doing anything creative. You need to figure out what your purpose is. Where do you want to start and where do you want to go? So talking about the Game Gurus specifically, our brand is informative video game content. We're never going to waste your time with the videos that we put out. There's a lot of crap out there. And that was one of the things that frustrated me so much about YouTube was, I'd go on and I'd get bombarded with garbage. And over time, the algorithm churns out better content. So that you've got great channels and channels that have nothing to do with video games. There's great channels that I watch that are informative all the time. Wired does great stuff. Cheddar does really great stuff. Vox Media does really great stuff. And it's informative, creative, slightly news-twinged videos that teach people or educate people. And that's kind of what I wanted the video game channel that we have to be. It's not just a hard news channel. It's not just talking to people, but I enjoy that. But I always wanted to bring my, skills as a creative, newsy type person to the video game sphere and kind of marry them together. Now, as an individual, right? There's a couple guys, and I love my guys that I work with. They're contributors to the channel. They're all amazing people, and I like to think that we've taught each other along the way. But in the beginning, it was just me, and it was just the idea of like, this is what I can bring to the table. So what I had to do was to plan and prep for all of that. And now planning and preparing is really the key to getting off the ground. Some people will tell you, just jump in, just pull the trigger, go. I'm not so sure I'm in that camp. I truly believe that if I didn't take the however many months I took to plan and prepare to launch the channel, I probably would have burnt out by now. It's hard to say. So for me, my planning and preparing was really simple. I was getting married, I was buying a house, and I wanted to start a channel. And so I had a conversation with my now wife, and I said, I really want to do this. I really want to start a channel. I had done it before for World of Warcraft, but I wanted to broaden it out. I wanted to do just video games, all sorts of video games. And she said to me, okay, well, we've got a wedding, we've got a house, we've got to move into the house, we've got busy jobs. What's your plan? And I said, well, I don't really know. What do you think I should do? And the conversation just kind of rolled on. And what it ended up being was take the 6 months before the wedding, before moving, and develop graphics, develop your thumbnail, develop scripts, series, develop concepts. And it gave me time to really wrap my head around everything that I wanted to put in the channel. Now, it didn't really matter. Day one, I was already like, oh my God, I need this, this, and this. And that's that kind of flurry of jumping into the massive pool that is, content creation, especially on YouTube. But it was that planning and preparing that really set me up and gave me the tools I needed to move forward every single day. I want to be moving forward every single day, whether it be a script or a new image or a new, obviously a new video, something like that. I want to keep moving that ball forward. And the only way I could do that was to plan and prepare. And one of the really great things that I learned in the beginning was you have so many valuable resources around you, whether it be friends, family, strangers on the internet who, as we all know, are more than just strangers on the internet. At times I've met amazing people through the internet, people that have come to my wedding, people that I have, cried with, laughed with, shed blood with in some, regards, digital blood, obviously, but people that can give you honest feedback. There's no more honest place and very critical place than the internet. So talking it out was a huge part of starting. You never know what kind of tips or insight you're going to get just by talking to people. So I talked to my wife, I talked to my friends, I ran ideas by my family, I ran ideas by strangers, and they all gave me valuable input, things that I had to consider. Now, I never want to suggest that you just take somebody and their words and just apply them to you. You should always take their words and think about what they mean to you and your journey, your creative endeavor. So those things really played a big part in shaping where we started and where we are today, because I took all of those different inputs from different people, those different insights, and I kind of made them work for me. I put them in the back of my mind, I kind of archived them, and I thought to myself, okay, this person told me this at some point, this is really important because of this, it applies to me here. So it's kind of always this moving, evolving process of thinking about the people in your lives that have touched you and that have talked to you about your creative process. And talking it out was probably one of the best things I could have done in the beginning, because it really set me up for some of the things that I wasn't really expecting. People would say something to me that I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And it could be something as little as a tiny graphic, or it could be as big as a huge concept or a series that made no sense, or a new series that spawned because their idea helped me evolve it right there on the spot. So if you silo yourself and you have all of these great ideas in your head, it's not that you shouldn't do them. You should 100% do them. But you should always talk to people, especially the people that your creative process is going to affect, and talk to them about how to make it work, what their thoughts are on it. I'm not saying, again, you have to take their word as the gospel, but listen to them and take what they say to heart, especially if they're, a wife or a husband or a son or daughter or a brother, sister, somebody whose lives could possibly be impacted by it, right? Because they're going to have incredible insight into your process and your potential process. And part of that, and I've said this since I played World of Warcraft way back in the day, was surrounding yourself with good people. And I don't just mean good people, skilled people, or talented people in terms of the video game world, but I mean good people. People that have your best interest at heart, or people that are passionate. Say for me, right? I have a video game channel, The Game Gurus. I found the best people I could find, not because they're always the most skilled or they're the wealthiest, but because they're good people at their core. Troy, Nixon, Sang, Shale, Zerchi, they're all fantastic people at their core. And it's not just the skills. The skills can come. You can teach a man to fish anything, you know? You can teach a man to go to the moon. You can teach a man to edit. You can teach a man to write a script. But you can't teach somebody to be a good person and to be a passionate person. That's something that I have always stressed in everything that I do, is that you really should surround yourself with the best people possible. And I'm not saying you have to have an entourage. That's, kind of silly. But you want to surround yourself with the people that will lift each other up. There's a lot of negativity out there on the internet, and it's bothered me a lot. And we'll talk about that in a later video. But surround yourself with good people. If you're just starting out, find a friend, find a couple people, reach out to other creators, reach out to other artists, reach out to anybody and everybody. And the people that will have an impact on you, the people that care, they will let themselves be known to you. You will know instantly if this is a person that you want in your orbit. Because that's really important. Those small conversations that you have with that person or those people will get you through to the next day, to the next project, to the next video, to the next whatever. And that's what this is all about. Because unfortunately, at this point, creativity is sometimes a grind. Creativity is sometimes something that you have to work tirelessly for, and most of the time it is. You have to work tirelessly to be a creative person. So I say this all the time, and I don't think too much of it, but I think about it all the time, and I say it all the time. I work for 8 hours a day. I come home, I eat dinner with my family, I spend time with my wife and my puppy, and then I come downstairs and I work for 4 or 5 more hours until I can't work anymore. It's a grind. But I love it, and I love everything about that grind. And that's just me. And I'm trying to be smart about it. I'm trying to find ways to do the work and put the effort in and have it be recognized every time. And that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We spend a lot of our time talking to nobody or talking to a few people. And if you're still watching the video at this point, there's probably only a few people watching this, and that's okay, because you have to commit to it. You got to commit to your grind, whether that be a sport, whether that be a video, editing videos, whether that be being a poetry, writing poetry. You have to commit to it because it's going to be a grind. And that is probably the hardest thing to do, because commitment is not just okay, I'm ready to do this, snap your fingers and you're committed. Commitment is every single day thinking about moving the ball forward, coming home, working on your craft, working on whatever. And there's amazing people, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk. They grind, and they have grinded, and they have created companies and massive things. And it's beautiful, and it's inspiring, but it's a grind. And if somebody told you that, unless you were born into a rich family, and that's great. If you were, awesome. But starting from where most of us are, it's going to be a grind. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they grinded. They worked their asses off to get to where they were or are. And that's the same thing with any sort of creative thing. If you're about to start a YouTube channel, get ready, because it's a grind. And you got to find the people, and you got to have the conversations, and you got to plan, because at the end of the day, you're going to be committing hours upon hours upon hours upon hours to whatever creative thing you are doing. And it's a beautiful thing, because it's driving you forward. It's inspiring you. It should inspire you. It should push you to be the best that you absolutely can be, if you're really into it, if you're committed to it. And just to wrap this one up, because I don't want these videos to be super, super long. To wrap this one up, started with brand, right? We talked about brand and your mission. Think about the small details, but focus on the big idea. The little details will gnaw at you every single day. You're going to bed, little details. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I just thought of this. Blah, X, Y, and Z. But the big picture is what's going to move you throughout the years. It's going to propel you forward and define your trajectory of whatever the creative thing you are doing. So sweat the small stuff. The little details are what matter. The little tiny details are the glue that keep your ideas together. But the big idea, if the big idea is convoluted, if the big idea is obscure, the small details don't really matter. So sweat the small details, but always think about the big picture. And at this point, we're almost at a year in my journey. So I'm trying to catch you up in about a year in one video. So we're about a year in this journey, closing in on 10,000 subscribers, constantly thinking about how do I do it better? How do I reach more people? How do I perfect my craft? I don't have the answers, but I know in my head what the big picture is. Every single subscriber, every single person that's in our Discord, every single person that comments or tweets or whatever, they're part of that learning, building, growing community and family that I care about. And you should too, if you have some sort of creative pursuit where you have people following you. Every single one of those people is valuable. And you should never take that for granted, because they're following your big idea, your small details. They're the people that believe in your brand and your mission. And you shouldn't take that for granted. And I hope you don't. And I hope, if anything, this video, this first vlog of our Offscript series where, I'm just kind of sharing whatever's in my head, has helped you rethink something or helped you commit. Finally say, yes, I'm going to do this. Or, okay, maybe I need to step back. Maybe I need to plan some more. Whatever it is that you got from this, I hope it's a good thing. And if you want to share it, let us know. Let me know in the comment section below. It's funny, I'm trying to say this as if it's one of our videos. I know it by heart at this point, If it's something that's helped you, if there's something in here that I said that resonated with you, or something that I said that didn't resonate with you, let me know. I want to hear about it, because this vlog series is about me growing as just as much as it's about you growing. So let me know in the comment section. If you don't feel comfortable putting it out publicly, join our Discord, message me directly. My DMs are always open. You can email us, gamegurusus@gmail.com. And I'm going to keep these going, whether 5 people watch it or 5 million. I'm going to keep them going. I'm going to keep talking about the creative process and people's journeys, because I think that's really important, and I think that's going to help, hopefully, a lot of you guys. Anyways, my name is Codiak, and from everyone here at the Game Gurus, thanks for watching, and play on.